God bless you, boys and girls. We are so excited that you came to join us today for Children's Church. It's me, Sister Tanya, and little Sister Bethany here. And we're excited because we're going to have a story to tell you, the story of Joseph. But before we tell you the story, we want to do some worship, just like we would if we were in our Sunday school class. So can you guys get up right there in your very own homes, join us for some worship? Will you help me, Bethany?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go worship God, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to get started on our story of Joseph. Let's go!
He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Wow, boys and girls, that was some awesome worship. I'm so glad that we were able to worship the Lord before we get started on our Bible story. So we are going to be talking about the story of Joseph. Joseph is a very special story about God's plan for his life and how God was always with him. Joseph was really loved by his father, Jacob. He was considered his favorite. In fact, he made Joseph a colorful coat of many colors. It's one of the main things that everybody remembers the story about, because he made Joseph this beautiful coat of many colors. It made his other brothers really upset and jealous, and they didn't like Joseph very much. And not only that, but God really spoke to Joseph. In his dreams, he would tell Joseph things, and then Joseph would go and tell his brothers, and that just made them even more upset and more jealous. So one day they decided that they really wanted to hurt Joseph. I know, it's not nice to hurt people, but his brothers were that jealous, and they didn't like him that much that they wanted to do something to him. So they decided to throw Joseph in a pit. But then afterwards, they decided that they were going to sell him as a slave. When a slave is somebody that you work for and you belong to, and you have to do what they say. So they took Joseph's coat and they smashed it up and they ripped it up and they made it look like a wild animal got him. Well, you could imagine that his dad was really sad because he thought Joseph was eaten by an animal. But he wasn't. And Joseph became friends with a man named Potiphar. He became someone that he started working for, and Potiphar really liked Joseph. In fact, he put Joseph in charge of his whole house. But unfortunately, his wife, Potiphar's wife, didn't like Joseph, and she said some really mean lies about Joseph. And guess what? He was thrown in prison. I know, so scary, because Potiphar was so angry that Joseph would do something like that. Even though it was a lie, he threw Joseph in prison. So I'm sure you guys could probably think Joseph was probably a little scared right now, like, what is going on in my life? Why are all these things happening? But you know what? God was still with Joseph, and God still used Joseph through all of it, because even in prison, he was able to help people and become friends with the guards. And through his dreams, God used that to be able to get him out of prison, because there was a man named Pharaoh who needed help to try to understand what his dream meant. Joseph was able to tell Pharaoh what his dream meant. And when he found out who Joseph was, he realized, I like him. I'm going to put him in charge over some things too. So now Joseph was in charge, and he was second in command for Pharaoh. He was, he had a crown, he had a sword, and, he was living life. God was with him. God loved him, and God blessed Joseph so much. But then Joseph's brothers came back. They came to Joseph, not knowing it was Joseph, and they needed his help. And Joseph, he was probably like, he probably felt angry. He probably felt, just upset and hurt because Joseph's brothers did some mean things to him. But you know what, boys and girls? Joseph did the right thing. And instead of getting back at his brothers, he forgave his brothers. And because he forgave his brothers, he was able to be a blessing. And through all of that, his brothers were able to say sorry, and they were reunited as a family. Even Joseph's father was able to come and see that his son, who he loved so much, was okay after all. God had a plan, and Joseph was special. God had a calling on Joseph's life, and he was with Joseph all the time. And he also has a plan for your life. He has a calling for your life as well. And he's with every one of you. Yes, you, all of you back at home right now that are watching. Little Skylar Rose, Izzy, Lois, Sophia, Azariah, Bethany, Iris, Noah, Elias, Ethan, Gianna, Nano, all of you guys, all of our WAM children who are watching right now, from the littlest to the oldest. God has a plan for your life. We want you guys to remember that today. And to remember that, I have a special activity and a craft that you can do at home to remember the story of Joseph and how God had a special plan and how he has a special plan for your life. God is always with you. So I'm going to show you how you guys can do that activity and that craft at home, okay? And then when you guys are done with it, you guys can hang it up on your refrigerator or your room, wherever you want to put it, so it can remind you how God is with you and God loves you and God has a plan. Thank you, boys and girls. I'm so excited that you guys came to join us today. Let's go get started on that activity, okay? Okay, boys and girls, so this is the craft that you guys can all do at home. And it is a picture of Joseph and his coat of many colors. Now you can use white paper, you can use lined paper, you could even use one of these papers, like here, there's like a brown market bag. Whatever paper you want to use that you have available at home, you can use it. And you see how Bethany's coloring hers. She's coloring it her own way. She's making it her own style. So you guys can get creative. You don't have to draw the lines like I did. You can get creative at home, and you can find maybe pieces of construction paper, or if you have a magazine at home, you can cut out different colors from it and glue it and paste it on the coat. You can ask your mom or your dad or maybe a brother or a sister that's older than you if you need help drawing the picture. And then on mine and Bethany's it says, God is always with me. Joshua 1:9. And in Joshua 1:9 it says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And that's just a reminder about our story today that we read about Joseph, how God was always with him, and how God had a plan for his life, and God is always with you. And you can hang your picture up on the refrigerator, on the wall, wherever you want, to remind you that God is always with you. God bless you, boys and girls. Thank you for coming and joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the Bible story about Joseph and this really fun and neat activity and craft that you can do at home. We'll see you guys soon. God bless.